on-the-job training programs, participate in apprenticeships, that would go a really long way in helping workers meet the demand quickly and be able to transition into the jobs that are growing the fastest.
Would you say that union apprenticeship programs are good examples of ways that how we could approach this?
In today's hearing, lawmakers examined how the United States can ensure that the benefits of artificial intelligence strengthen American workers, communities, and long-term competitiveness. Senator Kelly outlined his AI for America roadmap, highlighting an AI Horizon Fund that would reinvest a small share of frontier AI profits into job training, apprenticeships, community infrastructure, and efforts to build public trust. Witnesses emphasized that workers will need significant support to upskill and reskill, and that union apprenticeship programs and community college partnerships provide effective models, especially when federal support helps small businesses participate. The discussion also touched on global competition with China, which aims to dominate AI by 2030. To stay ahead, the U.S. will need robust federal research investment, a stronger AI-skilled workforce, modern infrastructure, and broad access to advanced computing. Drawing lessons from the CHIPS and Science Act, experts warned that letting critical technology and supply chains drift overseas can weaken national security and economic leadership. Faster deployment of federal funding, streamlined
Would you like to go next?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You do realize this is the one occasion where I get to be, you call me chairman. The rest of the time, you're my
I'll call you Mr. Chairman anytime. Well, thank you, and thank you to our witnesses for being here. In my AI for America roadmap, I make the case that the companies seeing the greatest upside from an AI boom should help reinvest in the foundations that make their growth possible, which is our workers and our infrastructure. So that's the idea behind this AI Horizon Fund that I proposed in this paper that we released about 6 weeks ago. And that would be to reinvest a small portion of frontier AI profits into job training, apprenticeships, community infrastructure, and building public trust in this technology. So, Ms. Whitaker, how can this kind of fund help ensure that the benefits of AI strengthen communities and help workers and small businesses keep pace with AI advancements rather than just strain resources and displace workers?
Absolutely. I think that it's absolutely correct that resources are needed to sort of help workers upskill and reskill and to sort of fund all the programs that we're looking at. Apprenticeships in particular face pretty significant startup costs, particularly for small businesses. And so if the federal government can support small businesses who are looking to start up those sorts of on-the-job training programs, participate in apprenticeships, that would go a really long way in helping workers meet the demand quickly and be able to transition into the jobs that are growing the fastest.
Would you say that union apprenticeship programs are good examples of ways that how we could approach this?
Absolutely. They're a great model.
And can you point to any examples of successful public-private partnerships that show how the government and industry can work together to ensure that an AI boom delivers real benefits for workers and communities?
I would say there's lots of partnerships with community colleges in particular that are receiving grants to sort of work on exactly the type of training that we're focused on, working with local businesses and large AI developers to make sure that workers are getting the skills that they need.
Well, thank you. Mr. Reinhardt, so we're in a global race with China on AI. They've made it very clear they want to lead the world in AI by 2030. I outlined some foundations we will need to maintain our edge, which is major federal research investment, a deeper AI-skilled workforce, modern infrastructure, access to the compute for universities and small firms, and responsible development and deployment of AI that earns the public's trust. So, Mr. Reinhardt, in your paper on the CHIPS and Science Act, you describe how unique economic conditions pushed chip fabrication and testing overseas. and how Congress responded with significant federal funding to bring more of that capacity back to the United States. So as we think about AI and advanced compute, what lessons should we take from that experience about the risk of letting critical technology supply chains and infrastructure move overseas if the federal government does not stay engaged?
Yeah, I think that what we did with CHIPS, I think, was incredibly needed. The thing that I would like to see is for us to get that money out sooner. I think the big issue that we need to ensure is that when the programs themselves are, when they are funded and appropriated, that we make sure that companies are getting them quickly, that we get the money out to the people who are needed. And fundamentally, I do see that there are some current, Micron has talked about recently that they're having some delays in their production. They have delays in the factories that they're standing up. Some of that is related, at least seems perhaps, to permitting. Some of it seems to be related to labor and production. So to me, this really looks like a whole of an economy of approach, right? You need a whole bunch of different things that are fitting together. But where I think the government really should be pressing the pedal is just making sure that the money gets out to them as quickly as possible.
Do you feel that this is a winner-take-all kind of scenario, that some countries' AI systems will be adopted by other countries, and that country winds up gaining the most?
No, when you look at, for example, Anthropic, right? Anthropic was kind of a laggard. They weren't first they weren't first like OpenAI was, and yet they are still a massive and important component of people who are writing code. And their models are currently top notch. So I don't think that necessarily this is a quickly moving market, and as long as you continue to innovate, which American companies have been doing, as long as you continue to innovate, I think that there's not like a single. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a single winner take all, that people are going to figure out which kind of models work for them, right? They're going to start building in-house. We'll see some of this, some of the open source models being applied. You'll also see, as I'm well aware of, financial companies, other companies don't want to build their own infrastructure on the back of foreign technology, and so they'll have limitations, and they probably won't do that. So to me, I really just see a fracturing of the entire market. Things are going to get much, much more complicated. Right. They're going to get much more dedicated. The models are going to get more dedicated, and so that's going to require a lot more attention to each one of the industries themselves.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. The gentleman